Yo, what is going on guys? It is Cynnnical, and today for you guys I wanted to talk about the chessboard in the new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. It is quite possibly one of the most important aspects of this trailer, believe it or not. Now, when we first watched the trailer, initially we thought, okay, Xehanort and Ericus, they're just sitting there, they're playing chess, that's it. But there is so much more meaning behind the chess than actually meets the eye, and it actually takes quite a few watches of the trailer to actually understand that. But however guys, today I thought in this video I would go over a few of my ideas behind the chess game and sort of better explain what it's actually trying to foreshadow. It's really interesting, and I know a lot of you guys came to me telling me to do a video on this, so here it is guys. Hopefully you enjoy, and yeah, let's get on with it. So the very first glimpse of the trailer, we see both Ericus as well as Xehanort playing what looks to be a friendly game of chess. Well, sort of. But yeah, so of course there is a really big meaning behind the chess game. Now, the chess game actually, in a sense, foreshadows the events of the battle that's apparently meant to happen in Kingdom Hearts 3. Yes, that's right, the great battle between the Guardians of Light and the Seekers of Darkness. This is what the chess game is actually foreshadowing. Now, it's extremely important just due to the fact that obviously the Guardians of Light are the protagonists we know in the Kingdom Hearts series, as well as that the Seekers of Darkness are the antagonists we know. And you'll notice that there are, the color schemes to the, the chess pieces are different. So the ones that Ericus are using are like a white and gold, which they represent the light. Now the ones that Xehanort are using, well, this is obvious, he's using the black and gold ones. They represent the darkness, what appears to be the Seekers of Darkness, which is really interesting. So I started counting the chess pieces because obviously the number of chess pieces on the board are really important. It's important to note. Now, in total, I counted 12 dark pieces on the board. Now, it sort of didn't make sense to me because, in theory, you would think that if this was representing the, the Guardians and the Seekers, there should be 7, light pieces representing the 7 Guardians of Light, and there should be 13 dark pieces representing the, obviously the Seekers of Darkness. That is an unfair chess game right there, but if it's meant to be foreshadowing, that battle that's meant to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, then there should be that certain amount of pieces. But for some reason, I could only count 12 pieces. So yeah, this is me counting the dark pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and Ericus, as we saw, took Xehanort's 12th piece. So as you can see, I could only count 12 in total. Now, whether or not there is a dark piece that is simply hiding behind another piece and I just can't see it at all, that might be the case. Either that, or it might be somewhere else, maybe in the room somewhere, or it's behind someone's arm or leg. But yeah, in total I could only count 12 dark pieces. Now for the light pieces, I counted 10 in total. This is me counting the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and of course at the start of the trailer, we see Xehanort taking Ericus's 10th piece. So yeah, I ended up counting 10 light pieces. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay Cynnnical, there should only be 7 here, right? If you're saying that this is meant to be the Guardians of Light. Well, indeed, you're correct. But what would actually make sense is, although there isn't actually 7 here, there's 10, perhaps it's just all of the protagonists that are going to be helping out in the battle. I mean, Donald and Goofy obviously aren't, Guardians of Light, but they are probably going to help when it comes to the end, and there's probably going to be another character that helps out as well that isn't going to be a Guardian of Light. So it sort of makes sense as to why there are more, obviously more light pieces on there. Why there isn't enough, dark pieces is sort of beyond me. I'm not really too sure. Once again, it might be hiding behind something. Anyway, let's get on with sort of picking out what chess piece represents what person. So how exactly do we tell apart a specific person just from a chess piece? Well, you might note that basically there is sort of unique symbols on top of all of these chess pieces, which is really cool. So the way we're going to identify people is through the use of these symbols or these emblems on top of these chess pieces. Now, in Kingdom Hearts, there generally are different symbols that represent specific people or enemies. So there are quite a few notable ones for both the light and dark, but many of them, and I mean many of them, are still quite unknown. A few of them are sort of speculated, so just keep that in mind. So first of all, we'll start off with the dark chess pieces, or the Seekers of Darkness. The first one I noticed was this one right here. As you guys would note, there is sort of two cogs on top of this one. The emblem, or the sort of symbol, is made out of two cogs. Now, the person who represents this symbol is Vanitas, which is really cool. And how we know that is if you go in Birth by Sleep, you go to the Badlands, you go to that area, you'll see an orb floating with that exact symbol, and obviously if you engage with the orb, you'll then engage in a fight against Vanitas' lingering spirit. You should also take note that this exact symbol is also on Vanitas' keyblade, which is his keychain. So it's the keychain for his keyblade, which is really cool. So yeah, we know that this symbol right here represents Vanitas. So what is this saying? Well, this sort of means that, is Vanitas actually going to return? I did a video on this not too long ago, and you know, I was talking about how this would be a really awesome idea. Even though Vanitas sort of perished, you know, at the end of Birth by Sleep, there are sort of ways of him coming back. So I think it's going to be absolutely amazing to see how Square does that. So moving on, we have this chess piece right here. Now this is one that I'm sort of unsure about. It's a circle with a few spikes coming out of it. And basically it reminds me a lot of Saïx. Out of the other ones that I've seen on the board, none of them really sort of, you know, jump out at me screaming Saïx, but this one right here sort of reminds me a little bit of his Claymore weapon. We do know that Saïx is definitely a Seeker of Darkness, so there has to be a piece on this board that somewhere represents him. I just felt like this piece right here best represents him. So next we have these pieces right here. Now something is very unique about these pieces in comparison to the other pieces that are on the board. That being that both of them look identical, like they're exactly the same. Now when I came to think of it, I was like, well, we don't actually have like any twins or anything, you know, the Seekers of Darkness. But when I thought about it, there is actually two sort of beings that represent sort of one person, and that is Ansem the Seeker of Darkness. As you guys should probably know, Ansem the Seeker of Darkness also has an accomplice who is always next to him, and that is his guardian, who he can summon at will. So I can almost guarantee that these two pieces, just because of the fact that they have the exact same, you know, sort of emblem up top of the piece, I would say that, yeah, these two pieces definitely represent Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, as well as his guardian. Not only that, but you know, the sort of emblem at the top of the pieces looks sort of like the Guardian's head in a way. But yeah, so I can almost put my money on it that those pieces right there would probably represent the Guardian as well as Ansem the Seeker of Darkness. The next piece is this piece right here. As you guys can see, there is an hourglass symbol, or an hourglass, on top of this chess piece. Now, who do we sort of think of when we think of an hourglass? Instantly I think of young Master Xehanort. The reason behind that is, of course, young Master Xehanort, he is, you know, surrounding the whole time manipulation. He can go back in time and stuff like that. He is heavily involved in time travel, and how that is his purpose in the Organization 13, or for the Seekers of Darkness. So I strongly believe that the one with the hourglass on top of it definitely represents young Master Xehanort, as we already know he is confirmed to be a Seeker of Darkness. Next up is this symbol right here, or this piece. Hopefully you guys can see it alright, but basically this piece is two cubes sort of on top of each other. As we can see, there is a smaller cube on top and a bigger cube on the bottom. Now basically I get this strong dice vibe from this. And the reason I feel like that is because it is a cube, there's two cubes. Generally with dice you have a pair of dice, and when it comes to gambling and stuff like that, you generally have two dice. Now who do we think of when we think of gambling and like dice and stuff like that? Instantly, you think of Luxord. So yeah, Luxord might actually make a return as a Seeker of Darkness. Perhaps, Xehanort found some sort of use for Luxord. Maybe it was like, we need to get him back somehow. We do know that he was one of the bodyguards for Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 2, just due to the fact that he was like one of the last Organization 13 members you fought before making your way up to Xemnas. So I think it's very likely that we might actually see Luxord making a return as a Seeker of Darkness. I don't know if it's just me, I really do get a strong sort of dice sense out of that symbol right there. So that's all I really have tried to figure out for the dark pieces, except for one, but I'm going to leave the last one until the end of the video as it is fairly important. Otherwise though, we do know that there are a ton more different dark pieces on the board, and I suppose it'll be up to us to try figure out what the other symbols represent. Anyway guys, let's get on with the light pieces. Alright, so as far as the light pieces go, this screenshot is actually perfect. It might not be the greatest quality, it is really zoomed in, so it's pretty good quality for the amount of zoom it has on it, but yeah, this picture is really good because basically this picture right here displays the pieces that pretty much I could pick out hinting towards what character exactly it is. So we'll start off with this one right here. It's fairly obvious. It's a Mickey Mouse symbol, so it's got to be Mickey Mouse, right? That's definitely King Mickey right there. I'm gonna put my money on it. That has to be King Mickey. Now, if we make our way over to the one that's next to the crown, now, we'll get into the crown. I strongly believe that the crown is Sora, but I'm going to get into that later on once we're done with a majority of the light pieces. So, right next to Sora is a symbol that, we've never seen before, and a lot of these symbols, we've never seen them before. But I definitely feel as if that is probably Ventus. I'm going to say that it's most likely Ventus. It's a very peculiar looking symbol, but we do know that Ventus is probably going to be waking up in Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sora and Ventus, they share a strong connection because of the bond that they have. So I'm going to say that piece is probably Ventus. If we make our way over to this one right here, it looks like a love heart, but then it almost sort of looks like, in a way, the Heartless symbol. Now, when I think of the protagonist, and I sort of think of the Heartless symbol, or the shape of it anyway, I definitely think of Riku. We do know that Riku is a Guardian of Light, and of course he's going to be there in the fight, so I sort of feel like this piece is probably Riku. Talking about the star, I sort of feel like the star is probably going to be Kairi. Not really too sure as to why. Maybe it's to do with her and the Wayfinder, with the Palpu fruit, so perhaps that's why the star represents her. And lastly, the one that's next to Mickey. I sort of feel as if this one is probably going to be Aqua, but then again, I'm really not too sure. The ones I'm pretty certain on, however, is most definitely Mickey and obviously Sora. The rest of them are all speculation, as these symbols are sort of symbols, that we've never really seen before. As far as the ones go in the back there, I really have no idea who they are, as well as that, obviously this isn't all the pieces to the light set. But these are the ones that I know, so like I mentioned with the dark set guys, if you know any of these symbols that look familiar to you, be sure to post your thoughts and stuff in the comment section below. And finally, let's talk about this piece. Yep, that's right, this is literally the last moment before the trailer ends, and we see the crown piece up against what looks to be the goat skull or the chimera head. It's either one, but what is the goat skull or the chimera head from? Yes, it is represented on Xehanort's Keyblade, so I can almost put my money on it that this piece right here is Xehanort. And what does that mean? Yes, the crown piece is facing the goat skull piece, which obviously represents the battle between Xehanort and Sora, the epic battle that we're all waiting upon in Kingdom Hearts 3. I just believe that the crown piece is most definitely Sora. He's, you just look at the Kingdom Key, it's got the crown shape at the end of the Keyblade. He's wearing a crown necklace. The crown most definitely, you know, represents Sora without a doubt. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. I strongly believe that this chessboard definitely represents the Guardians of Light as well as the Seekers of Darkness, and there truly is a greater meaning behind it, rather than just a simple game of chess between two young boys. But hopefully you guys have learned something new today. You know, this is going to be an ongoing mystery, you know, this chessboard for sure, so you know, we will obviously unravel its mysteries as the months go along. I might make a follow-up video to this if we get enough information, but otherwise, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.